there, this is Mobile Agent TV, helping agents stay on the cutting edge from coast to coast.
Welcome to Mobile Agent TV. I am Michael Thorne of RE/MAX Little Oak Realty in Langley, BC, and my co-host, as always, is Dave Falkware from Bridgewater, New Jersey's RE/MAX Preferred Professionals in the Enviro Realty team. Dave, best high school subject?
Gym.
I'm learning so much about you asking these questions now. You don't like toppings on your pizza, but you tweeted or Facebooked out a pizza the other day. It was half and half cheese, and then I guess the other half was for somebody else.
Yeah, that wasn't for me.
During the show, you can interact with us on Twitter using the hashtag MATVLive. You can also get us at Mobile Agent TV. We will monitor that throughout the show, as well as I will enable the Q&A feature. So you can just click right on the screen on the blog, ask your questions, and the audience members can vote them up and vote them down, and we'll make sure we get them asked of our guests. We're going to break from our typical format where we have one guest on. We've asked Tara Christensen to come on at the top of our show to talk for the next 5-10 minutes about agent safety in light of the events of this past week with Realtor Beverly Carter. And on behalf of the Mobile Agent TV audience, our thoughts go out to her family. But I think it's probably timely that we have this conversation. I happen to work on a team with two female agents. It's something that we have to be mindful of, and it's something we all should be mindful of. Tara wrote, and by the way, you can get Tara on Twitter at TechWithTLC. She is an international speaker, writer, technology and trainer, and director for Century 21 Redwood Realty. She's an online strategist and much, much more. Preferred drink bourbon, shoe size 7. That's important information in the Twitter bio. But Tara, one of the reasons why I reached out to you is we have a bunch of mutual friends, but you wrote a blog post, I guess, in the past week in regards to agent safety, and I wonder if you just want to talk about the catalyst of that blog post and a bit of the content.
I write for a technology blog called Agent Driven Tech, which is somewhat associated with Century 21, but it's kind of its own offshoot. And with all of this stuff happening, it was kind of one of those helpless feelings. I was a real estate agent for 7 years. I was guilty of showing up at houses not knowing who I was showing to at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night. And, you know, that's not always a great thing. And now, especially with technology being where we are and with the location-based stuff that we've got going on with the GPS, that's basically in everything, and a lot of the other apps and technology things that are out there, I think it's really important that people know at least some of the things that are out there. And I know when we're feeling really helpless that we want to institute things that we can do immediately, as well as then some of those longer-term actions, the deeper things that we actually have to do as a brokerage, as a company, that sort of stuff. And so the catalyst really to write it was more out of a, okay, here's what you could do now. Here are some of the things that are coming out. Here are some of the things that you can use, and start thinking about this. And I was actually telling my mom the other day about it, and I said, even if you download the app and you just see that app every day on your phone, hopefully that reminds you of Beverly and of what's happened and everything else that's out there. And it's that constant stay safe reminder for everything.
So that's great advice, Tara. Based on that, what in a synopsis, as far as your research with tech, what are one of the two that you think that are the best options for agents to employ, whether they're solo agents or maybe from a team or a broker's perspective?
Well, I think there's a number of things. I think you should reach out to your association. There are companies like Guardly that are out there, and that's Guard LY. And there's a newest one that was just at Inman Connect San Francisco that's called Secure Show. And the head of it, I think Lynn is her name, has been very responsive even on the blog posts that have been out there on Inman and on Agent Driven Tech. And so her information's there, but she's been very forthcoming about how it works and what they're trying to do. It's basically a verification system, an ID verification system, people being who they are supposed to be, so that's Secure Show. And then there's a bunch of apps. I mean, there's tons and tons of apps out there. The one that's formulated specifically for real estate agents is called Agents Armor, And another one that I've seen that a lot of people are getting very into, at least are starting to download and use, one is called Be Safe, just Be and Safe, and the other one is called Glimpse, Glympse. And so those two are the ones that I'm seeing as apps that are becoming the most popular for people to download at the moment. And then finally, there's wearables. You know, everybody thinks about the watches and everything else that's out there. Well, the watches actually do have GPS location in there, and they are actually going to be, and they have 911 or emergency services, instant calling through that. But there are some jewelry that's going to be released in the next year, I think March of 2015, for at least 2 of them. One is called Cuff. That seems to be the most popular. It's got a starting price point about $45. You switch it in and out of different bracelets and necklaces and things like that. And then there's something called Stiletto, which is still needs to be crowdfunded. So don't know yet whether or not it will be released, but it's very similar. It's just jewel pendants and that sort of stuff. Instant. Like, I could just clasp my necklace, basically, and just by doing that, I could be alerting emergency services as well as starting GPS location. It also triggers, like, an internal microphone, that sort of stuff as well.
Wow. That's amazing that tech comes that way. And we thought on Tara to have you on and talk about the tech options, but there are some basic, very low-tech options that we should be implementing. Dave, you work with your wife, Vanessa, and I'm sure you don't go on every showing together, and you will look to add team members, you know, that may be male or female, and this isn't just a female topic, although it seems in my 21 years, unfortunately, it has been predominantly a female topic. What sort of you know, systems and protocols do you guys have in place for Vanessa and the team members, Dave?
Well, you know me, I talk about the basics, but we have a real low-tech thing, and that's that we do a buyer consultation, kind of like you do, and they come in the office to do it, and they have to be pre-qualified by a mortgage person. So there's a lot of checking of these people. Now, that's not going to 100% guarantee they're not going to run into some of the crazies that are out there, but I think just by doing that alone, you've taken it up to a safety level well beyond just going and meeting somebody at a house. And so, as a matter of fact, this has also brought this to top of mind. Vanessa and I went on a listing appointment yesterday, and she normally goes on some of them herself, but for some reason I went with her. And when the guy opened up the door of this house, I won't get into the whole story, if she was alone, she would not have gone into the house. So, you know, doing it together is also a good thing. You can get a different, you know, set of eyes on the house if you're doing a market analysis as one example. But our low-tech thing is we totally pre-qualify them before they even get in the car, and that's just as simple as that. That's going to kick it up a notch.
Yeah. Tara, do you feel that since this became a larger story perhaps than past stories outside the real estate world, that when we say, you know, we want to meet you and here's the reasons why, and maybe cite an example like Beverly Carter, that maybe the public might have a better understanding for why we want to have a bit of a, we want to know who you are?
Well, absolutely, and I think, you know, vice versa, because I could call up somebody and claim that I'm a real estate agent and be happy to show blah blah blah. Just meet me at this, you know, at this listing. I think that you might be interested, or I overheard that you might be interested. I'd be happy to show it to you. They don't know. I mean, and what are they going to do? The first thing they're going to do is try to verify I am who I say I am. So I don't see why that's such a bad thing to do, you know, vice versa as well. So I think, yes, I think the public will definitely be more open to that suggestion, and if they aren't, then you just don't work with them.
Yeah, I agree. We haven't introduced today's guest, Kyle Cutcliffe, yet, but Kyle, just before we got in the air, you said something that your office does, and it's very, very low tech, but you've obviously, as brokerage, thought about this sort of stuff. What was it that you said before the show started?
Yeah, this is something that we've been doing a while, because you're right, with the brokers and agents so eager to get business, a lot of people will take, you know, just jump into an appointment. Oh yeah, I'll meet you there. So one of the things that we do at our office is that if you are in trouble, or if you kind of feel uneasy in the situation that you're in, you call the office and you say, hey, I came to this house, but I'm missing my purple folder, or just referencing a purple folder at all, because we have a blue folder for our buyers packages and a red folder for our listing packages. So if you ask for a purple folder, that means that we're going to send someone your way or get you help. It's easy. You're not instigating someone. If you're in an uneasy situation, they might not know what you're doing, but you're kind of asking for help.
Okay, perfect. Tara, anything else, any advice that you want to leave us on? And obviously, I think this is something we have to get further on. We already had Kyle booked on the show, and I didn't want another week to go by without capitalizing on the conversation. Tara, any more advice on your digging that you really encourage agents to take heed of?
Just, I think the big thing is that technology isn't all that. It isn't the one solution. If you think that, a phone or an app or a piece of jewelry is going to keep you safe, it's not. And it has to start with your behavioral changes and with your understanding of things. And I think that's the most important thing with all technology in general, and I love it to death, but is that you have to understand it's just one tool to use, and it's something that you can use to stay safe. And I think that keeping it top of mind no matter what, no matter where you go, is one of the best ways of honoring Beverly Carter as well.
Perfect. Great way to leave it on that note. Tara, thank you so much. Everyone out there, you can follow Tara on Twitter at TechWithTLC. She is one of the bright personalities in our industry, but we had to come on and talk about maybe a bit more of a serious topic, so we'll have to get you back on and have some fun on the show like we try to do every week, Tara. Thank you so much.
Sounds great. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it.
We'll talk to you soon. All right, so let's get right into today's episode. Today's guest is Kyle Cutcliffe. You can get him on Twitter at Kyle Cutcliffe, Cutcliffe. Now, we always read out our guest's 160 Twitter bio, and Kyle's 160 Twitter bio reads, RE/MAX Real Estate Agent, short and sweet, and there you go. So Kyle, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Now let's that was a serious topic, Dave. It's something that I think we feel like we have to do, but let's get into a little bit more fun and get into some really great conversation about unique and creative ways to leverage video, the #1 topic we've had on the show for the past year and a half, as well as get into a little bit of Facebook marketing too as well. So Kyle, fresh-faced young Kyle, give us your history in the real estate space.
All right, yeah, so for those of you that don't know, my mother is the broker owner here at RE/MAX on the river. Today's a good day. We, as of this morning's numbers, we are the #1 RE/MAX office in Massachusetts. So that's kind of where I stand. Work for RE/MAX. I started working when I was 12 as the receptionist during the weekends. This is a time back before even MLS was used as much as it is today, when we were flipping through 2 5-inch binders full of listings to find you the blue house that you were looking for on, Main Street. So, I've seen real estate come a long way. I'm, like you said, I'm fresh-faced, but it's kind of been part of my life for a long time now.
And what is your role then there with RE/MAX on the river? Are you out as a buyer-seller agent, or are you working sort of in a managerial role? What's your role there at the brokerage?
I like to consider myself a utility guy. I kind of do a little bit of everything. I guess we were trying to come up with a title the other day, and maybe a marketing manager might be appropriate of some sort. But if there's trash to empty, if there's chairs to set up, I'm going to be that guy. But I also work with my mom's team. She sells real estate as well as manages the brokerage. We have 3 offices. But last year, the Cronin team, which is my mom's last name, Sharon Cronin, we did 51 homes and $17 million in volume. So I also spend a lot of time managing listings, accompanying showings, doing some marketing for our team as well. So I'm kind of all over the place.
Fantastic. So let's start off. Let's do the first segment of the show. Let's talk about video. Why a real simple question to start you off with, Kyle? Why video?
So videos. This has been something I've been thinking about for a long time. Throughout college, I just recently graduated from the University of Vermont. But while I was at college, in kind of the second half of my college career, I kind of knew I was going into real estate, so it had been something I had been thinking about. My mom is a wine connoisseur of sorts, and she used to listen to Gary Vee back before he was even in the real estate world, back when it was just wine tasting and a little bit of Jets talk. And I would kind of look over her shoulder at times, kind of seeing what he was doing, and I've kind of seen what in all industries, how videos kind of, you see it everywhere on Facebook, and YouTube's become so popular, and I've kind of just put two and two together and realized what I can actually do with video in the world of real estate.
Now I want to talk a little bit about and dovetail it in with video. The fact that it seems to me, I watched a couple of your guys' office videos about sort of the staff that's there at RE/MAX on the River. Would you say that you have an experienced group of agents at your brokerage, Kyle?
Oh, without a doubt. Our agents are the best. We attract great agents. We focus on training our agents, holding them accountable, and just doing whatever we can to help them with their business. And it's great. You know, they love it. Getting on video shows some of our top producing agents and expressing genuinely how much they like working for our office, which is great to see.
So here's my question. A younger guy comes in out of college. He's got an idea about video. You've also talked about Wired Up, which is sort of a tech stuff. You're doing a lot of really creative stuff, and I really want to get in the way that you're leveraging video, because there's like four or five things that you're doing where I'm like, wow, I didn't even see it that way, and now I see video differently. Do you go to your mom and say, here's what I want to do, and there's resistance, or do you have buy-in from the more experienced agents, or what is that dynamic been like?
My mom has a lot of faith in me. She gives me a lot of free rein. One other person to mention is Mary Boland, and she helps me with the video. That's someone that was hired as a marketing specialist for our office to try to help out the agents, but it's turned into a video role, videographer type role, and we're actually, might get into later, kind of starting on the final stages of starting a company together where we'll focus on video production and marketing and that sort of thing. But she's been a huge help to me. She creates, as you can tell, wonderful videos. I have a little bit of a knack for it myself, so kind of the combination of the teamwork and the free rein that my mom gives us to approach these situations is kind of what has made us so successful.
Dave,
before you... 1 second, Kyle, give me some context. RE/MAX on the River, what river? Where are you? Where are your offices in Massachusetts?
That's a great question, Dave. So we're on the North Shore of Massachusetts. We are on the border of New Hampshire and right on the coast. So we're as far northeast as you could possibly be in Massachusetts. Gotcha.
What towns are you in?
Our main office is out of Newburyport, but we also have an office in Amesbury and most recently Middleton.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
And they're very cool offices. And we can get into that change too as well. I mean, it has to do with a lot about the next topic. Dave, you posted something on Facebook. I believe it was an Inman article yesterday about is it tech savvy or is it experience? And we keep having this conversation, and I know what your feelings are. It's like saying I work smart. Well, can't you work smart and work hard? Can't you be tech savvy and old school experienced? Why has it be either or? And I see someone like Kyle and what they're doing. It's the best of both worlds. Shouldn't we be trying to be both, Dave? And talk about why that particular post at Inman sort of spurred, and not necessarily the post. The comments under the post was the most interesting stuff.
Well, though the article basically was talking about the resistance from experienced agents for the young people that come into the business, and you had asked the question of Kyle initially: is he getting any resistance from his mom? So the young guys come into the real estate business, and they have all this tech savvy stuff, and the experienced people just kind of look. I got no time for that. I don't want to listen to it, and it's a big mistake. It's a real big mistake. And the best scenario is where there's experienced people. They have all this experience. But there's the belly to belly. You know me, the belly to belly, the basics. You got to have that. You can't just have technology, and you've got to blend the two together to be successful. And so we have to find ways to open everybody's mind. The new guys, the two tech savvy guys, they have to be open to understanding and learning the basics, because if they don't learn that, It doesn't matter how much technology they got. And the older, experienced agents who still do the belly-to-belly and still want to increase their business and are going to be around for a while, they're not going to be around for a while if they don't find some technology and, you know, find some of the things that are coming along. And video is one of the biggest ones. I mean, we've proven that over and over.
Well, absolutely, but it seems like it's this either or. I mean, if I took away your tech savviness, what would you be like an agent, Dave? And if I gave you tech savviness and took away your experience, what would you be like an agent, Dave? You'd be half the agent that you are today, and it seems either or. And I really want to get into that with Kyle. Kyle, one of the types of videos, and you do a lot of like different sort of themed videos, and I don't mean theme as the wrong way, but let me tell you what I mean. In a recent survey, it said the most important information that a buyer wants in 2014, number 2, was tell me about the process. What is the experience going to be like to buy a home or to downsize or whatever it is? And number 3, what they wanted was community information. And our team has done video about the process, and we've done video about the community. You have blended them both together, and I thought, wow, why haven't I thought of that? And not that I should have thought of it, but Kyle does this video, Dave, and everyone watching, where he goes to a winery for wine tasting, and he's tasting wines with his mortgage brokers, talking about what's it like to get financing for a first-time home buyer. He's taken both these ideas, jammed them together, and it's a no-brainer because the winery is going to share that, and then Kyle gets to be not the host of a tourism show, but he gets to be a real estate agent. The buyer, I mean, it's just one of these ones. Kyle, where does a thought like that come from? And did you know when you think of that, now I've got something?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a winning scenario for every reason that you just mentioned. I saw it as an opportunity. The people that own the winery are friends of ours, as are many of the people that we've done videos for. So it was very easy. They love us coming in. They're very helpful to us. So that was great. And then my thing was like, how do I attract a younger generation with informative information while keeping it interesting? So we kind of batted some ideas around. And we thought about, oh, we could go to a bar. People kind of are excited about that. It makes it, you know, it just gives the video a good feel. And then we're like, well, what about the Mill River Winery? And, you know, it has, as you can see, it was a great location. It looks great in the shot. They have an awesome, just an awesome location. So yeah, that was a no-brainer. And a video like that, which we'll talk about later, also has a lot of opportunities for advertising as well.
Yeah. Now, one of the things you clearly do in your videos, which is evident, is you play to your personality, which I think a lot of older agents maybe, or agents in general, have a tough time. In that particular video, you say that it's the first time you've been at a wine tasting, and isn't it ironic we're talking about financing for first-time home buyers, and you kind of wink at the camera, and it's this kind of cheesy, funny, like insight into your personality. But then you're wearing a tie when you're talking about that. But then you're also talking about the guy with a taco truck, and you've got a ball cap on backwards. I think there is something refreshing about someone who is a professional and also just a regular guy. And I kind of think that if you and I went out to a ball game, Kyle, that's who you'd be. And I think that that's the value of video. So talk about maybe advice when you're talking to other agents, the success about embracing your personality, especially when it comes to video.
That's a great question. And this is a relationship business. First and foremost, your business is built off of relationships. Any good top producer will tell you that they make their money off of repeat and referral business. And that is something that is going to hold true to your personality. Whether you're doing it on video, whether you're coming in the office every day, or you're putting day-to-day content or posts on Twitter, your personality needs to show through, because that's going to attract the right people to you and to do business for you. And just in the spirit of just building good relationships, it's kind of, you know, the fundamental blocks that real estate is built on. And, you know, I'm young. I need to dress nice. I need people to know that I am in a situation to guide you on your biggest purchase ever, possibly. So, you know, I've had a lot of guidance with that. Just, you know, as you said before, to touch back on with experience and innovation, because that is so important. And I said my mom gives me free rein, but she is also very helpful in guiding me in the right direction. Well, you know, you really, if you're doing a video, like when we did our Meet Our Builder series when we went to, she was, you know, very adamant on, you know, these are kind of the things that you need to touch on. These are, you know, 25 years of experience says this is what buyers are looking for. When someone walks into a house, this is what they're going to notice, and kind of gives me on the right track of what to point out, what to mention in these videos. So you're right. You can't just walk out of college, know things about technology, and suddenly, you know, become a great real estate agent. You have to know the industry, know your numbers, and everything that goes along with that. I think I kind of lost track on that one.
No, that's great. Dave, is this what happens after the show's been on the air for a year and a half? Did you press your mute button, cough, and then unmute yourself? This is a slick process we got going now, Dave. This is it. Now, okay, your eyes kind of perked up when I talked about marrying community along with, you know, real estate information and jamming those two together. It's not amazing to me, but like it's like why hasn't that been done before? You know, Kyle's obviously leading the way, and he's not scared of sort of just pushing it out, but that's an amazing sort of a meld, and that could be endless. You could be at the local baseball game talking about whatever. I mean, you could be anywhere talking with an expert and sort of doing them both at the same time.
Again, you could take any one of the aspects of the real estate business. Sit at a ballpark with a guy, a local, you know, minor league ballpark that's in your market, on any of the subjects. You could be talking to the mortgage guy, the home inspector. You could have him take you there. Here, okay, we're going to do a video. We're going to talk about the home inspection process. Yeah. No, oh my God, there's a foul ball. Oh, you know, it's a home run. I mean, there's so many things you could do with this. It's clever. It's very clever.
It is very, very clever. And I kind of think that this is what, you know, when I teased it out on Twitter, you know, and actually in the preview I said, you know, here's Kyle. He's not burdened by the belief that it's always been done this way. There is something amazing about newer agents that get into this business that aren't burdened with the, I've never seen anyone do that. So Kyle, before we get into your Builder series, which is interesting, what is the consequences of you trying that and not working?
I don't think about that. I don't intend on having it not work.
That's the answer I'm looking for. I mean, and we can continue with the answer, but I knew that was the answer going to be. Well, okay, it's not. Of course, it's going to work. It's a great idea. It's unique. It's doing something different than anyone else. But if it doesn't work, you just don't do it again. Like it's like.
But you know, sometimes you got to. Sometimes a lot of this stuff you have to trust. And one of the things that's similar to that, to me, is the sharing that we all do. There's all these people running around sharing information for free. We're not selling anything. We don't have a coaching business. We don't have any of that. We don't sell video. We're real estate agents sharing. Now, we take a lot of time to do it. Michael takes certainly a lot more time than I do to put all this together, and he shares beyond belief. And I know for a fact that does not hurt his business. It does nothing but help it. And there are other people who go like, well, you're wasting your time. You should have buyers in your car, blah, blah, blah. But you have to trust these kinds of things. Common sense to me tells me that what he's doing is going to work some way. It's going to benefit him somehow.
Well, I mean, almost the catalyst of mobile agent.
He's on Mobile Agent TV.
Yeah. I mean, we went on the air. If it didn't work, we would have done 10 shows. We would have called it a day. We'd had a blast. We moved on. Now it's turned into something that we can't even imagine. I mean, we didn't imagine Mobile Agent TV the way it is today a year and a half ago, but the only way to get here was to do it. Kyle, right. Another one of your brilliant ideas, someone on your team, is this Builder series, and it is so smart for so many different reasons. It's smart because it educates the potential buyer. It's smart because it builds a know, like, and trust with you. And it's smart because it breaks down this barrier between the buyer and the builder where they kind of get to know, like, and trust the person that's building their home. And they get to talk about a lot of the things about a home that we don't get to see. A lot of the when I hear a couple of builders in your Builder series talk, you can hear their passion about building a great product. And that rings through, and that increases the perceived value of that property. Talk about the Builder series that you're doing, why you're doing it, and what the reaction. I'm putting a lot on you, and what the reaction for the builder has been to that idea, which is extremely unique.
Great. I just want to touch on one thing on the past topic is that when I do something like this, I put a lot of thought into it. I don't just jump in front of something and, go for it. I totally buy in to what I'm doing. Into real estate, it's something that I think about all day long. I go to bed thinking about it. So it's not something that just comes together, but it's a lot of time doing it, and then actually just buying in, like you guys with Mobile Agent TV. I'm sure when you first started, you were getting 10 hits, 15 hits, 20 hits, but you buy into the system and you commit yourself to it, and great things happen as long as you are confident with the product that you're putting out there and yourself.
Absolutely.
So with the Meet Your Builder series, which is fantastic, and you're right, what this does is it comes at you at so many angles, because first and foremost for us, it puts us on a great relationship with our builders as clients. They love when we make these videos for them because it is a testimonial to their product. It almost starts giving them a name. Like, so some of ours are Danny Olette, who has built, I think that was his 6th house that he had built. He's a younger guy, similar to me, that just is involved in the hustle and the commitment towards his work. And now people are going to be like, oh, that's an Olette house, because they've seen the video, they've seen the finished work that he's doing, and it just kind of adds to their credibility. So they love it. You kind of achieve a lifelong client with it because they know that we're trying our hardest to market their product in very innovative and effective ways. What was the main question? You want me to describe?
Well, no, I mean that's almost what it is. I mean, first of all, just describe for people that haven't seen the video, and you can see all these videos at northshoremass.com. All the different types of videos are there, but you're basically interviewing the builder inside one of the house and highlighting like the benefits of that home. You're not doing it. It's sort of an interview, home tour, all at the same time. It's like get to know the builder kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's great. So I think subconsciously what happened is that a lot of my family is part of that side of the business. My brother, the majority of my uncles are all builders of some sort, whether it's masons, bricklayers, or general contractors. And so I've always, and as many of you guys know, the job site usually has a great atmosphere. When you're on a job of the construction, it's just, you got music playing, guys joking around, making things happen. And with that, all these builders have their own personalities. And as realtors, we come in, we show someone a house, and we give our interpretation of a builder's product. Well, this allows the builder to give their own interpretation of their product, why they might have done something. And so I don't have to necessarily explain it. You have the builder explaining why he does the extra, trim and crown molding on the house, and why he chose the tray ceiling in the dining room. These are things that, coming from the builder themselves, is getting added credibility towards the house, and it's something that you are, kind of witnessing.
And like you say, why not get that perspective from someone who knows intimately why they made those choices? It's neat to hear not your interpretation of it. You get great answers, and it's amazing how great these builders appear on camera, because they know what to say. They live and breathe this home, so they're just telling you the way it is. It's very, very engaging content. It's very, very unique angle on that. Dave, I mean, you must have that with people that you just know. If instead of me interpreting that, if I could just let you speak to my seller and tell you why they loved growing up here or raising their family in this house, it would raise the perceived value of the property in an instant. It's kind of a neat angle to sort of step away and let it hear from the horse's mouth.
It absolutely is. To have the actual seller. Now, let's take it a step back a little bit from the builder to a regular homeowner sharing things about their house that they lived in for 20 years. I mean, just think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's to me, that's, I don't know, that's a pretty brilliant idea. This thing is just growing. It just, my question would be for Kyle is, tell me about the technology or the means you use to do these videos. Are you doing it with simple equipment, or do you have a video production, or what kind of how are you putting that together?
We have nice equipment. We committed to the cause. We spent some money on equipment. Like I said, I'm on the final stages of opening a media production company myself. So this is something that we committed to, and it works, because if someone else was going to do this, and I had mentioned this at the RE/MAX Broker Owner Conference, but if you actually buy the equipment yourself, you can, in the long run, minimize the cost, because there are so many people out there graduating from colleges that aren't finding a degree, very creative people with video and film production. If you can just supply them the equipment, they'll probably take less of a cost hourly to make these happen, and all of a sudden, you're just finding creative ways to, to push product. And this would be more of a broker more than an agent themselves.
Sure. How did you do your first videos, though? I mean, you didn't go out and buy equipment day one. You said, "Oh, I'm going to start doing videos." How did you start? Because part of our audience is, is listening to this, and they've been all along, and they're not doing video, and they want to find a way to get started because they're hearing brilliant ideas. So, what would you suggest that they do?
There's different levels to that. If you want a really simple way of something, this is a good nugget for you guys that is something that you can do with video, and it's just what we're doing now, but tell people a market report. If you go on my website, North Shore, Mass, and then go to, say, Newburyport, you'll see that I sit in front of a camera and I will tell you guys the numbers of my market, how prices have gone up 6%. From this date last year from where it was, a year ago, and I'll tell you how many months of inventory there are in a set price bracket, and I'll just put up a graph. They're wicked easy. They take me a half hour. I'm actually doing those on a much higher quality scale right now, that if you wanted to go to my Vimeo, one of my Vimeo channels, actually Mary Boland's video channel, we have one, and it looks awesome. That's kind of the next stage of things. But you just got to be creative. You can make it happen without having high quality video camera. You need to either throw some personality into the video or come up with something clever that people want to watch.
But the message is start. If you're an agent not doing it, we've talked about this before, just get going. Take your iPhone out and go make a video.
Well,
exactly.
Well, Dave, we've brought all of our equipment in house, and there's a team of 3. We're not a brokerage, but I mean, we've got thousands of dollars in audio equipment. We've got sliders, we've got jibs, we've got all that stuff now. I started on an iPhone for a year. Like, I did home videos on an iPhone, and I would never have gotten comfortable spending $5,000-$6,000 on video equipment if I hadn't seen the ROI. You will get where Kyle is if you start, because the reaction is incredible. It's incredible. You have to start somewhere, like any process. You have to start somewhere. Question for you from Melanie, Kyle. How do you convince people to be in front of the camera? I've asked a few clients, and most aren't comfortable. How did you convince the builder? Question mark.
It wasn't hard. I'm pretty friendly with the builders. They could see it in me. They could see that I knew that this was a good idea, and the way I, expressed it to them, it was just it was a no-brainer, so to speak, that they would do it. And my thing was just get in front of it. Let's take a look at it. You can decide if you don't like the way it turns out. We won't promote it. I say that and knowing that they will love the product, because I'm confident in the product that I am putting out there. But yeah, just say do it. Just convince them to do it, and then as long as you know that it's a good idea.
Tell them it's free.
Tell them it's free.
Well, here's the thing too. Is there is something in it for the builder. If you were to interview your seller and you think that it's going to increase the perceived value of the property, it's something in it for them. You can take 30 takes. We're all filming on digital, so it's no big deal. The editing bay is the most miraculous thing, where you can take 45 minutes of junk and you come up with 3 minutes of gold. The editing bay is an amazing place to be. And like you said, we've done it before to people. We said, if you don't like it, we won't put it out, and we give them final right of approval. And every video we've ever shot, be it a local business or whatever it is, I've always said, yeah, that's great, put it out. I just don't think that's a huge obstacle. Before we get in Facebook marketing, Kyle, because we're getting to the end of it, I have a question that I have asked Raj Kazar. I didn't really understand the answer, other than it looks good, and maybe that's the same answer to you. Why have you sort of bet more on Vimeo than betting on YouTube?
That's a better question for my videographer, Mary. So my interpretation of it is that the quality is better, that those within the business like Vimeo better.
Agreed.
I don't see a massive difference within Vimeo or YouTube. And actually, I could argue very well going into the promotion side of things or the advertising side of things that YouTube is better. But do both. It's easy to do both. One of the things that we're going to spend some time on next week is making multiple media channels on both Vimeo and YouTube. But yeah, I think that they say that the quality is a little bit better on Vimeo. How true that is, I don't have any numbers for you.
I think Vimeo looks good when it's embedded. As far as the social network, I mean, people forget that YouTube is a social network. There's commenting, there's shares, there's likes, there's all that sort of stuff. So I prefer YouTube that way. I mean, we're live on YouTube right now around the world. But as far as embeddable video, Vimeo certainly has a cleaner look. It automatically plays in HD, and when you're filming what you're filming, it doesn't downgrade it to a lower grade. It starts shooting it in right there. So let's get into something that magically, Dave, you and I haven't talked a whole lot on the show before about is Facebook marketing. I think it's one of these places where there's a huge opportunity. Talk about, Kyle, some of the ways now you're taking this content and creating some very creative ways of hyper targeting a potential marketplace when it comes to Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's many ways of doing this. I think by now a lot of people know about Facebook advertising and what's behind it. I'll kind of do a brief description on it, though, just to clear things up for those that don't. Facebook advertising allows you, if you have a business page, not a personal page, but a business page, allows you to spend money on boosting a post or advertising content via that page. And so you can do this by targeting your friends and their friends. So if you like my Facebook page and if I put up a post and put $5 behind it, it's going to end up as a sponsored post in your newsfeed, maybe a couple times, so I don't have to worry about what time of the day I throw my video on, because I know that Facebook's going to take care of that for me and make sure that it ends up in your newsfeed at some point. And it's also going to go to people that you're friends with. So it'll say, Michael Thorne likes Kyle Cutcliffe. Here's Kyle Cutcliffe's most recent content. So it's giving you added credibility because they like you, you like me, they like my content. So it's kind of is shared that way. So that's a good one. And then you can also do target marketing where we opened a new office in Middleton. I have a great recruiting video that we touched on earlier, interviewing people in our office and showing us what a great franchise we have here. And so I am going to share that with people in Middleton above the age of 25, 30, it depends on wherever. And then I can choose what their interests are, and that they like real estate, that they like Zillow, anything else that National Association of Realtors, things that people that are going to fit your demographic are going to like. Facebook and pretty much every social media outlet or platform at this time is offering some type of promotion. Video is amazing content. People love watching videos. That's kind of, that's why I'm on this show. And so you'll get better results when you're promoting a video opposed to when you are boosting, check out my new listing. So I think that's part of it, and that's been really effective in itself. Would you like me to go into some other forms of promotion?
Yeah. Well, I actually want to touch on about just how, the social and just our world is very fragmented and very, very busy. The ability to write content or write advertising specifically for a certain end user is amazing. I think if I had a flower shop in Bridgewater, New Jersey, that I could target every single woman in Bridgewater, New Jersey who is engaged to be married. Like, So the advertising could say, congratulations on your engagement. Obviously you're thinking about buying some flowers for your wedding. We'd love to do a consult. Like you're able to get like so crazily target marketed, where a bus bench ad just says, I'm Dave Falkware, I work at RE/MAX, and here's my phone number. You don't get to speak to someone, but the ability to target like really specifically people down to the really nth degree. You have a product that appeals to first-time home buyers. Just target people 20 to 35 years old. You have a retirement community. Advertise to people only over the age of 60. People don't realize how shockingly powerful and cheap it is to really focus on your message.
And you can monitor your results better.
Yes.
And the bus bench will cost you thousands, and you could boost the post for $50. That's a lot of money to throw out a post to boost it, and you'll get thousands of people looking at it. And target, you'll have the right ones looking at it too.
Yeah, and the thing about a bus bench ad, and I just was at the RE/MAX Super Sales Rally, and I talked about the way our marketing has changed, and I talk about bus bench ads quite a bit. I think bus bench ads have value when they already know who you are. I think it's a reinforcement of brand, but there's no value that you're providing, right? There's no here's some information to you. But on YouTube, when we do our monthly market updates videos, we then do the pre-roll ad that runs 5 seconds before you see the video. In the first 5 seconds you hear, I'm Michael Thorne of RE/MAX Little Oak Realty in North Langley, and here's your North Langley real estate market update for September 2014. We only run that ad to people that are already on YouTube in those 3 communities that are watching a video about real estate. I mean, they're sitting at their computer watching a video about real estate, and I'm saying, I've got information about real estate for you right now. The ability to cut through the noise and add value is like no other opportunity. So Kyle, you said you had some other examples of ways that you can really laser focus your message.
Yeah, so it's great. YouTube is one of them. So you take advantage of YouTube. So really it's Google AdWords, and using Google AdWords video to do that, where you can get yourself in front of a video, so you'll be that 5 seconds before you can skip type of video. And they allow you to monitor amazing results. You can see who's watched 25% of your video, who watched 50, who watched the whole thing, who clicked on, because then you can click on the video and bring you directly to your website. So, and I think that, I don't know what you're paying when you make those, but I mean, for me, it's like 3 cents a play. It's something ridiculously cheap.
I run our things for 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. It plays in front of every real estate video watched in North Langley, and I think my monthly bill is like $7.80.
It's awesome.
It's nothing.
Just the marketing is getting so innovative. It's great. And so that's a great one. I use that for our recruiting videos. Like you said, I've done little campaigns, week-long campaigns, 2-week campaigns, stuff like that. You can kind of see when people have started to see it, and it's starting to double up because they're not getting as good as results. So you kind of, a lot of this, and this is through Facebook, through YouTube and stuff, you really need to monitor your results to see, whether things are on the rise, whether it's on the fall, when to cut out and give things a break. I think there's almost a science behind that. So one of the fun things that I'm doing with this video is creating landing pages and then putting my video on that. And those can be through phone or web-based landing pages. And then I'll take those landing pages and promote them on Facebook. I'll promote them on Google AdWords. So the best example of that would be with my second Meet Your Builder one, when we talk with Jack Gorman, and he describes his net zero efficient home, which is a high performance home that, when set up with solar panels, can produce just as much energy as it consumes. So this is a specialized product for us, one that we want to market that way. So we'll create a landing page that will, that mentions what is a net zero home, what is a HERS inspection, and we've made a video on HERS inspections, which was awesome too. So we'll take that, we can put that video in, we'll put the John Gorman video that shows what the home is, we'll make a landing page, and then we'll go ahead and buy Google AdWords that will say Amesbury, this was in Amesbury, Massachusetts, and so we'll say Amesbury Sustainable Living, Amesbury Green Living, green housing, there any keyword that you can think of, and that way our landing page, you'll find yourself on this landing page if you find those, and then you can use the call to action to make sure that you're getting people's contact information and following up with them. The possibilities are endless. I have a first-time home buyers landing page that is doing great. That's one that I spend on Facebook, so it's coming up. It's a first-time home buyers guide. Brings you to the landing page. You can watch that video, find some other information, find ways to contact me, leave me your information. So those are awesome opportunities, and something that we're progressing with.
Yeah, it's really, really, really smart marketing. One of the questions I want to ask you too, Kyle, before we let you go here was, since you have this utility infielder type of a role here with RE/MAX on the River, quite often we see pretty innovative people. Dave doing paperless stuff. He's in a brokerage, and the agent's being progressive, but maybe the brokerage isn't being as progressive as we'd like to be. And we've seen a lot of these people, Dave. We've had them on the show week after week. What have you seen in the time that you've been at your brokerage, which is a long time now? Once you see maybe someone in your role, or a little bit from your mom, where you see the embracing of tech, maybe coming from top down. What have you seen in the changes and the progression amongst the agents when the message comes from the top opposed to agents from the bottom?
Yeah, we play by a lead by example role here at RE/MAX on the River. Our theme is that if you come to RE/MAX on the River, you're surrounding yourself with top producing agents, that people that make you want to be better, people that you want to compete with your peers, and everyone plays on a high level here. And so we try to implement. We're starting a training session now where we're going to really start to, we're showing the Tom Ferry films to try to get some base, some groundwork, and then we're going to go into more detail on some of these, how to build a landing page using unbounce.com, one of your Canadian sites, using Evernote to stay, to be more organized. That's something that I'm doing this Tuesday before our training session. We really have a huge focus on staying ahead. We stay educated, and you're right, that starts at the top. That starts with my mother. My mother is someone that works insanely hard and is always in a fight to stay educated. She goes to every conference. If there's something in the area, a good speaker comes through, she's there. She wants to learn it. And it doesn't come as naturally to her as it might come to me or someone else, but she just stay in the fight. It's a rock fight. Throw rocks or you get knocked out.
That's great advice. Dave, takeaways, anything you want to add at the end of the show about some of the things you've heard today? I think there's been some great content shared.
Well, I guess the number one thing for me is combining these subjects, like we talked about in the ballpark, bring the home inspector and sit there, and now you got the area. I mean, that just, to me, it's pretty phenomenal stuff, and that's my takeaway. And just doing it, actually just getting out there and doing it.
I agree. I think it's one of these really. I mean, I encourage you all to go to NorthShoreMass.com and take a look at the stuff that Kyle's doing. And when I saw that video, when I pressed play and they were in a winery, I said, "Well, we've done a wine tour before on video." And then they sit down with mortgage brokers and talk about first-time home buyers, and I went, "Oh, I get it. It's a twofold, and it makes a whole lot of sense. It's pretty smart marketing." Kyle, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thanks for giving us an hour of your time. How can people get a hold of you, get a hold of RE/MAX on the River if people want to send referrals out to your way?
Absolutely. So, in this day and age, it's pretty easy to find. If you search my name, you can find me on Facebook. You can. You'll find my email. Like I said, for people in our area, we are starting shops, so we're going to help other RE/MAX agents or brokers in our area help do video for their brokerages or specialized agents. I will be spearheading these projects to try to give you more creative ways to do your advertising. So that's kind of something fun that we're looking forward to doing as well. If you just want to give me a call, want some advice, I got some really fun things coming up that I haven't gotten a chance to talk out on this episode, but that'll be coming in the near future. So I'm not much of a Twitter guy. I don't really do day-to-day content. That's something that I don't want to spend my time on. But I appreciate it, but it's not something I'm going to be doing. I like just focusing on one piece of content and then sharing it, you can share something for a couple of weeks and there are different ways to play the game, is what I'm saying, and no way is wrong. So yeah, my contact information is out there. I'm very approachable, so give me a ring.
Thanks. Time. Next week's show, Friday, October 10th, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. If you have any referrals heading out to the East Coast of the U.S., get a hold of Dave. He'll put you in the hands of the right RE/MAX agent. And if it's in Northern Mass, well, it'll go out that way. And if you have any referrals coming out to the West Coast of Canada, get a hold of me. I'll put you in the hands of the right RE/MAX agent. And as Melanie Gallia of RE/MAX Fort McMurray wants to end every show, please tell 5 other RE/MAX agents about Mobile Agent TV. We grow every week. Our audience is phenomenal. Thank you all for supporting us this last year and a half. It allows us to reach out to people like Kyle Cutcliffe, who will give us an hour of their time. I appreciate that. And once again, on behalf of Mobile Agent TV and all of our audience, our thoughts are with the family of Beverly Carter. All of you, please be safe out there. We have a phenomenal industry, but be safe. Take care of each other. Thank you all. We'll see you all next week. Thank you, Dave. Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kyle. We'll have to do this soon again because I think you've got a ton more info in there, and we really, really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you all next week.
Kyle, don't go.